Happy Wednesday morning out there to all my winners. This is John, your host, with another episode here on Wednesday, May the 17th. Break the board. We run down through every game the night before in sports and look ahead and break down everything from a gambling aspect. We're 100% about sports gambling and putting money in your pockets. So thank you for joining us for another episode of Break the Board. Available on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Check out our YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at BCCS Sports and all the social platforms, Facebook, Instagram. You know, I was thinking about it this morning after watching the Nuggets and Lakers game last night. Of course, we had the moneyline parlay, Nuggets, Celtics in game ones. I told you I felt good about that. And the Nuggets at one point was up like 24 points. Nikola Jokic, just a monster. First ever player, 30 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists on 70% shooting in a playoff game. He poured in 34 points, 21 rebounds, 14 assists. Jamal Murray, who I told you I thought would be the X factor in this, he poured in 31. Michael Porter 15, Aaron Gordon 12. Caldwell Pope 21. Bruce Brown off the bench was electric in that first half. He finished with 16. But the Lakers, you know, I was thinking about this morning, how much better can they play? Is the question. I mean, they had a heck of a comeback. Kudos to them for fighting, scrapping, clawing back. Only to lose by 6. They actually cover the 6.5. So bad beat there if you were laying the 6.5 with the Nuggets. That's why I wanted no parts of the spring game one. But Anthony Davis, 40 points, 10 boards. Yeah, you're going to get 40 points out of Anthony Davis every game? I don't. I can't buy into that. LeBron James, 26 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. I think that's about what LeBron's going to do each and every game of this, so I can subscribe to that. Austin Reeves is going to pour in 23 every game. Nah, I can't see that. Russell and Schroeder, 8 and 6. It's about where I think they'll fall. Hachimura, he going to give me 17 every game. And the other thing is the Lakers, that 8-man rotation, you know, Jared Vanderbilt giving you nothing on the offensive end, Lonnie Walker only giving you 6, and you flip over. I just think the Nuggets are deeper. I don't know how they deal with Jokic. I really, really don't. I don't know how they deal with him. You know, even if you put Hachimura on him, I mean, look, there's too many guys that can get loose, get free. I don't know if LeBron can physically do it, but I think he has to be on Jamal Murray as much as possible. He has the height advantage, the strength advantage. The problem is that's going to wear LeBron out as he goes to the defensive end, right? So everything has a consequence here, and I'm really worried for the Lakers here, you know, because they came within 6 and you get 40 from Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis hasn't put back-to-back games together this whole postseason. So to think he's going to do it now, I mean, that's a hard sell. So as we go on and this series plays on, as I was watching it last night, I'm just thinking to myself, and even though the Lakers had the run, the Nuggets, again, that's where experience comes in, and the Nuggets don't have a lot of it, is that they let that big lead squander away. So that does concern me. But when I look at this series, it just reaffirms Nuggets in 6 or 7 is the way you got to go on it. Nuggets in 6 or 7 is the way you got to go. Now, game 2 will be Thursday night. Again, Nuggets laying 5.5. Last night, the line got to 7. They'll be laying 5.5 Thursday. Right now, 67% of the bets, 77% of the handle on the Lakers. So everybody likes the Lakers to bounce back. But look, I want to see over the next 48 hours how that line moves. Because I'll be very interested, once the public gets a hold of it, because I think the public's going to be right back on the Lakers and how that affects things. If you get a really lopsided thing, because like I said, I think the altitude played a part of it. So A lot of stuff going on there. Again, Jokic, just a monster. And anybody that thought Joel Embiid was better than, Jokic gets knocked on so much, you know what I mean, that it's ridiculous. But BetOnline is your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including latest player reports for this year's pro basketball playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL, hockey, right to UFC and boxing. BetOnline is your fastest and easiest way to get your betting info for your friends, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from the luxury of your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online where the game starts. And again, promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So we thank Bet Online for sponsoring the show, and Believe Network, everything that you guys do. Much appreciated here on Break the Board and our weekly podcast, Bustin' Chops and Callin' Shots, which will air Thursday. So you'll actually get 2 episodes. You'll get Break the Board. That'll be out by noon. And then sometime middle of the day, you'll get me and my brother Chop, Bustin' Chops, Callin' Shots. We have a ton to go over. The Preakness, we got to look at that. NASCAR this weekend has the All-Star race. They're going back to the old North Wilkesboro. So that'll be great. Want to talk about the NBA draft. A couple of prospects. Obviously, Wembanyama is going number 1. The Spurs got the number 1 pick last night. Hornets number 2. Was really pulling for the Hornets to get that number 2 pick. We'll touch on some football news. And again, touch on the playoffs. But Bustin' Chops, Callin' Shots, that airs on Thursday. So tomorrow you'll get 2 different episodes from us. So a lot of stuff going on. But again, Bet Online. Blee for 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. We can hit them up. Let's hit them up. Last night on the Diamond, 2-2. Orioles come in and cash for us, so that was very nice. The Texas Rangers cash. We lose with the Pirates, but it was at plus money. Again, yesterday I was talking about you can do all the work you want, but then even after you do the work, you have to trust the work you do, and you have to trust what you see. And I told you guys, the Pittsburgh Pirates were a fraud, and they were going to fall, and here they are, 22-20. Not saying they're not a good team. I'm just saying they were highly overrated. They got hot early. Everybody was in love with them. Now you can't beat the stinking Tigers. I mean, you can't even put a run on the board. You lose 4-0. So it was at plus money, so I don't feel as bad. But then we had the loss with the Cleveland Indians. And let me tell you, Shane Bieber on the bump, and I still can't get a win, is beyond me. That team just can't score. They can't score to save their soul. All right, so I'm out on the Indians. I don't want to hear anything about the Indians. That was a horrible pick. So anyway, 2-2. But we had the money line parlay with the Nuggets and the Celtics. So the first half of that cash, hopefully we get the other half across the finish line tonight. Again, NBA draft, Spurs get the number 1 pick. David Robinson, Tim Duncan. This will be the 3rd time they have it. Wembanyama obviously is going to be the clear-cut number 1, which means Brandon Miller of Alabama probably going to Charlotte. So, hey, Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, Big Williams in the middle, Bridges. I mean, Charlotte's got some nice pieces there. Just, I'd like to see them hire Monty Williams. I think that would be a fantastic hire. Speaking of NBA coaches, Doc Rivers, who I said I was out on, he gets the axe. Look, long overdue. Again, Doc, nice guy, but the only title he won was with the Celtics. And look, when you're coaching Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett, I mean, how hard can it be? I could do that drunk. So anyway, Doc is out. So who does Philly go with? I heard the name Mike D'Antoni is again, just another retread. If anything has been proven, you look at Malone in Denver, you look at Darvin Ham in LA, we got to stop retreading these coaches. Now, I did hear Nick Nurse. I think Nick Nurse is very interesting. I think he's a great coach. I think what he did with Toronto's fascinating because Toronto's never going to be good. They're in Canada. They just had Nurse and Kawhi, and they got, if Kawhi doesn't hit that shot in the corner, that fadeaway three falling out of bounds. And let's be honest, folks, no offense to Kawhi, but if Durant and Thompson and Curry and all them guys doesn't get hurt for the Warriors, Toronto isn't beating them in the finals. I mean, let's just be real. So, Nick Nurse to Philly, I like that. Budenholzer, no idea where he goes. Harden rumored to be out. I heard Houston, but if you're Houston, Emi Udoka, James Harden can't play defense, right? So, but apparently Harden pushed, it was Harden or Doc Rivers. So that tells me Harden's probably going to stay with Philly, depending on who they hire as the coach. Kevin Durant and Booker apparently didn't want Monty Williams. I don't know how you can't want Monty Williams to coach your team. But the rumor there is Ty Lue. Again, Ty Lue, just another guy. You get to coach LeBron, Kawhi, Paul George, Kevin Durant. How hard can it be? Right? Again, we got to stop retrading coaches. We got to find some new blood. I also think for the 76ers, just circling back to that, I think you pick up the phone and you call Jay Wright. That was a rumor before. I know he coached college. I know he's never coached NBA. But I think Jay Wright would get the respect needed. So kind of watch out for that. That's my sleeper. Hockey, again, will start tomorrow night, Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes. We're not going to talk any hockey today. I'm going to table that for tomorrow morning for that. So no hockey today. I do want to look at the PGA Championship. Couple things I was looking at. Obviously, we'll just run down through the odds here. So the favorites are a tie now. John Rahm and Scotty Scheffler, both plus 750. Look, I like both of those guys. I think you got to play them both. Scotty Scheffler is lights out. John Rahm, 2 major championships. I like him. Again, I don't like playing, the favorites in the field in golf as much, but it's really hard when you got some of these dynamite guys. Roy McIlroy, 13-1. I'm out on McIlroy. I've just heard too many things. A lot of respected analysts, along with just, diving into his numbers, fairway, him hitting fairways and all, how he kind of fell off there at the Masters really blew my mind. So I'm not on the McIlroy train. Xander Schauffele, 17-1. I like Patrick Cantlay at 19-1. I like Patrick Cantlay a lot. Koepka, he finished second there at the Masters, 21 to 1. Tony Finau, 21-1. Dustin Johnson, who just won the Live Golf Tournament last week at 24-1. Justin Thomas, your last year's champion of the PGA Championship, plus 2,900. Jason Day, who won last week, he blistered the field with 23 under. Jason Day was just hot tamales. Plus 2,900. Go down to a couple other guys. Victor Hovland, he's always going to be in the mix, but he'll never be able to win anything. 32. Colin Morikawa, plus 34-1. Sungjae M, 34-1. Max Homa, 36-1. Jordan Spieth, who's fell from grace, he's 36-1. And Terrell Hatton at 46-1. So, Rahm and Scheffler, I feel like you got to play them. I like Cantlay, plus 19-1. Tony Finau, had him at the Masters. He, pooped a bird there. But I like him in this one, plus 2,100. I think you got to look at, when you're looking at long shots, I do think Terrell Hatton, I like him on there. But I was looking, Bet Online had some things that I was looking up. None of the matchups really intrigued me, but they're on top 5. John Rahm plus 170. Top 10, I like Xander Schauffele plus 155. Cantlay plus 180. Morikawa plus 280. Dustin Johnson 300. 3-1 for Dustin Johnson to finish in the top 10. I really like that. I feel like that's good value there. But as far as the win, I'm going to roll I'm going to roll with 2 favorites, Scheffler and Rahm. I'm going to take a flyer on Cantley at 19-1 to get her done. My other 2 guys, remember I always give 5 picks. My other 2 guys I'm going to roll with, Tony Finau, and then I'm going to roll with Colin Morikawa. Those are going to be my 5 guys that I roll with for the PGA Championship. Tee time starts tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. ESPN's going to be carrying that, so check that out. On the diamond, again, 2-2 last night. I really screwed us because I told you I had a lean Minnesota Twins, and I got scared about stepping in front of Kershaw. Lo and behold, the Twins at plus 175 win and cash in. If I had taken that, we'd have been 3-2 on the diamond. But tomato. So on the baseball year, I'm not going to win any contests right now. We're 50-42 in baseball alone. Plus 6.77 units. So 8 games over, almost 7 units up. I haven't hurt anybody, but I haven't won as much as I needed to, but we'll get the ship righted. Today, early baseball 110, the Pittsburgh Pirates send Rich Hill and him crying about the new rules on the bump to the Detroit Tigers and Ed Rodriguez. Tigers minus $1.55. I want no parts of the game. Rodriguez is the better pitcher. I can't lay 155 with Detroit. There's no way I'm taking the Pirates right now. I say that and they'll probably win. But I just want no parts of this game or these 2 teams. 3:10 Eastern time, the Minnesota Twinkies will visit the LA Dodgers. Sonny Gray will get the call for the Twins. 4-0 with a 1.39 ERA, 1.08 whip. He's averaging 5 2/3. Dustin May will get the call for the Dodgers. 4-1 with a 2.68 ERA, 6 innings pitched. Twins 4-0 in their last 4 games with the total set at 9 or higher. It's right at 8.5. So if it gets there, you got something there an old trend to work with. The Twins 2-11 now in the last 13 meetings, 2-7 the last 9 in LA. But again, they got that win last night, which was impressive. I like that a lot. Will Smith, questionable. He's probably going to get some rest there. The shortstop for the Dodgers. The Twins shift up to 13th in offense on the year. In their last 3 starts, Sonny Gray 1-0, but the Twins are 1-2 in those starts. 2.76 ERA. Dustin May's been lights out for the Dodgers. 2-0 in his last 3 starts, and the Dodgers are 3-0 in his last 3 starts. He's throwing about 6 innings per. 0.96 whip, 2.04 ERA. Just phenomenal for May. The Twins have lost 3 of Gray's last 5 starts. In those outings, he's given up. May 12th was his last against the Cubbies. He pitched 5 1/3, giving up 1 earned run. He's given up 1-3-1-0-1-0-1-0 to start the year. So other than Cleveland, of course, daggone Indians. Other than Cleveland, he's been lights out. Against the Dodgers, though, he's faced them 5 times. All of them last year, he faced them with the Twins. Pitched 4 2/3, gave up 7 hits, 3 runs. He's lost his last 4 and 4 out of 5 total against the Dodgers. Again, the Dodgers, when May goes, he's been lights out. They've won 5 of his last 7 starts. He's given up in May 12th against the Padres, pitched 6 2/3, giving up 2 earned runs. His last couple starts here in order: 2 runs, 0 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 5 runs, 2 runs, 1 run, 0 runs. That's been his year. So except for April 17th against the Mets, who they can't score either, so I find that ironic. He gave up 5 to them. Other than that, he hasn't given up more than 2 runs the whole year. With that being said, I still like, when you're looking at value again, -1. Excuse me. These are early morning coughs. I got to get some good tea. I need an assistant to come bring me some good tea. Anyway, right now, Dodgers -150, comeback +126 on the Twinkies. I would take the Twins plus money again today. I want to dive into that around noon Eastern. Game goes off 3:10. So those of y'all signed up on a package, be looking for that. If you're interested, email me at john@bccsports. That's two C's, two S's. john@bccsports.com. And let's talk and let's get you on a package. So, got some good stuff going on there. This also at 3:10, the Cincinnati Reds will visit the Colorado Rockies. Graham Ashcraft will get the call for the Reds, 2-1 with a 3.95 ERA. The Rockies will send Austin Gomer Powell to the mound, 3-4 with a 6.30. Both of them averaging about 5 innings per. Right now, Rockies minus 116. The Cincinnati Reds minus 102 on the comeback. So nothing really there to look at. You know, if I was going to bet the game, the Reds won last night, I would end up taking the Cincinnati Reds. Ashcraft's 4-0 in his last 4 starts versus the NL West. He's 0-4 in his last 4 starts against the National League West. Hold on just a second. I got a friend here. Have a good day at school. Sorry, father duty calls. Rockies 5-0 in their last 5 during Game 3 of the series. The Reds are now 2-4 their last 6 in Colorado, and 2-5 their last 7 meetings overall. But Ashcraft, he's been pitching really, really well as of late. In the last 3 starts, 0-1. But Gomer has been pitching lights out his last 3 starts. I apologize. Ashcraft 0-1 with an 8.10 ERA. Austin Gomer, the southpaw, 2-0. The Rockies are 2-1 in those starts. He's averaging 6 1/3, 0.9 WHIP, 2.89 ERA. So again, if I had to play the game, I had that backwards. Sorry, daughter came in, kissed for school, got me all messed up. I would take the Rockies minus the $1.16 at home. Arizona Diamondbacks, 3:37 Eastern time today. Ryan Nelson against Luis Medina. Again, any game that has the Oakland A's right now, I can't even stomach breaking that game down. All right. I mean, it just gives me the willy-nillys. I can't do it right now. Phillies play the Giants today. Phillies will send Walker to the hill, 3-2 with a 5.75 ERA. Tawan Walker, talk about a guy, man, that was lights out for a long time, and he's just really kind of fell off the cliff too. Ross Stripling, who came over from Toronto, that I thought was going to be great. Typically, when you have an American League pitcher come to the National League, they have a ton of success, but not so much for him. 0-2 with a 7.14 earned run average. He's only averaging 3 2/3 innings pitched. So he's been on the struggle bus there. Philly 6-18 the last 24 meetings against the Giants. In the last 3 starts, Walker 1-1. The team is 2-1, but again, a 7 ERA, and Stripling a 6 ERA. I mean, obviously the way these two guys are pitching, I think if you're going to go anything in this game, you would look at the over-under 9.5. But that's a little, again, I'm not good at over-unders. Again, I'm just giving you the stats and what comes to mind first. Royals got the win last night. Tonight they'll send Carlos Hernandez, or not tonight, really, 4:10 Eastern time. Royals against the Padres. Carlos Hernandez will get the call against Yu Darvish. San Diego Padres laying 230, plus 195 on the comeback for Kansas City. Darvish 2-2 with a 3.16. Royals now 3-10 in their last 13 interleague games, and 1-5 in their last 6 interleague road games. So I don't want any parts again of the Royals against Yu Darvish here. The only way you can play this game if you had the Padres in some kind of little money line parlay, you're taking a little $40 parlay and sprinkling it on a 3 to 5 teamer. Just to see if you can hit some. That would be the only option. I'm not going to roll with the Royals and step in front of Darvish. 6:35 Eastern time. LA Angels at the Baltimore Orioles. Again, we had the Orioles last night. Tonight, Canning, the righty, will get the Rosenbach for the Angels, 2-1 with a 6.38 ERA. Kyle Bradish will get the call, righty for the Orioles, 1-1 with a 4.56 earned run average. In the last three starts with these two pitchers, Canning, he's 2-1, and the Angels are 2-1. 4 2/3 average, 8.56 earned runs. Kyle Bradish, he hasn't won in his last three, but his team is 2-1. He's averaging 5 1/3, giving up about 8 hits, a 3.45 earned run average. Look, Griffin Canning, as bad as his ERA's been, the guy's had dynamite run support for whatever reason. The Angels have won 5 of his last 6 starts. Against Baltimore, he's only got one start back on May 12th of 2019. He lasted 4 2/3, sprinkling up 5 hits, 4 earned runs. Bradish, 2-2. The Orioles are in his last 4, but before that, he had won 3 in a row. He had that stinker against Boston where he gave up 7 runs. Other than that, 4 shutouts and 2 outings where he gave up 3 runs. He's never faced the Angels before. Has Bradish. The Angels are now 1-6 their last 7 meetings against Baltimore and 1-8 their last 9 meetings in Baltimore. With that being said, again, I want to take a closer look with that, but right now, Orioles laying $1.35 to $1.38, depending on where you shop. Come back 115 to 120 for the Angels. I like the Orioles today. That's one lean that I got. The Washington Nationals will battle the Florida Marlins. Today, the Marlins have won the first 2 games of this series. The first game of this series, rather. Mackenzie Gore, the southpaw, will get the call for the Nationals. He's been pitching really, really well. Kid came over from the Padre trade in that whole Juan Soto. I really like him a lot. 3-2 with a 3.29 ERA, averaging about 5 innings pitched. Cabrera will get the call, the hard throw-in fastball pitcher for the Marlins, 2-3 with a 5.35. Your over-under is sitting at 8 right now. Nationals 7-22 the last 29 meetings, and they're 1-7 the last 8 in Miami. So, that's a little rough.
Very interesting.
So, Nationals 25th ranked offense. Miami has the 30th ranked offense. Again, these two teams struggle in their last 3 starts. The Nats, Gore, when he pitches, the Nats are 0-3 in his last 3, but he's got a 3.86, 1.79 whip. Cabrera, the Marlins are 2-1 in his last 3, but he's given up 6. His ERA 6.08. So, doesn't really tell the whole story. Cabrera's had 3 starts against the Nationals. The Marlins have went 2-1. He's given up 3 runs, 1 run, 3 runs, all of those last season. In Gore's last 10 starts, the Nats have lost 5 of 6 of them. But look, no earned runs against the Mets back on May 12th. 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1. So Gore hasn't pitched bad. The Nats are just one of those teams. They're like the Indians. They just can't score. So I don't really think I got an opinion on this one. Again, it's early here, a little later than usual here at 6 o'clock. But Nats are 5-5 in their last 10. So are the Marlins. If I really had to bet the game, gun to my head, I would definitely lean the way of the Nationals plus the 110, plus 112, depending on where you shop. New York Yankees, they'll battle the Toronto Blue Jays. Garrett Cole will get the call. Yankees laying $1.20, comeback minus 105 on the Toronto Blue Jays with Bassett. Cole 5-0 with a 2.22 ERA. Bassett 5-2 with a 3.49 ERA. Yankees got the win last night. The Yankees are now 6-2 the last 8 meetings, 5-0 the last 5 in Toronto. there. In their last 3 starts, Garrett Cole, the Yankees are 2-1 when he goes, but he's given up 5 runs per, as to where Bassett 2-0 in his last 3. The Blue Jays are 2-1. He's going 7 innings per, a .86 whip and a 1.71 earned run average. Again, I get it's Garrett Cole. Kind of like, remember yesterday I said with the Mets, there's no way they should be laying that big with Verlander, but people are going to look at that and look at the bullpen guy for the Rays and say, okay, well, Verlander and the Mets got to be the play, and he got lit up. So Garrett Cole on the road, I know they've owned Toronto in Toronto. This is probably a stay away. Again, I got to do a little bit of work and then let the line sink in, go to the local casino here, Barstool Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino in Charlestown, and really let that sink in. But I would actually lean the Blue Jays with Bassett here. I think, Yankees 25-19, 9-9 on the road, but the Blue Jays 12-5 at home. I like the Blue Jays to bounce back, especially after yesterday, them dropping that game 5-3. Seattle Mariners and Boston Red Sox. We've told you Boston's been a house of horrors for Seattle. They took game 1, but game 2, the Red Sox bounced back yesterday. Minus 125 with Brian Bello for the Red Sox, plus 105 on the comeback for the Seattle Mariners with the southpaw Marco Gonzalez. Gonzalez 3-0 with a 1.39 whip, 4.42 ERA. Bello 2-1 with a 5.01 ERA. When you look into the pitching match, or offense rather, Seattle's 16th ranked offense. Boston's got the 3rd ranked offense. Boston can score. If Boston can get the starting pitching and the bullpen together, they'll be just fine. Both of these guys have pitched their teams to wins. Both Gonzalez and Bello, their teams are 3-0 in their last 3 starts, and both of them are averaging 5 to 5 1/3 innings pitched. But here's the kicker. Gonzalez has a 6 earned run average, and Bello has a 2.81 earned run average. All right, so little concerning there. Bellows never faced Seattle. Boston has won his last 4 starts, Bellows. Gonzalez, when he pitches, the Mariners are 1-3. He's given up 3 runs, 2 runs, 3 runs, 5 runs, but they have won his last 4 starts and 5 of his last 6. Again, just because of the sheer dominance they've had over the Mariners, I would lean Boston minus the $1.25 here. Rays 32-11 visit the 20-23 Mets. Again, yesterday the Rays tore up the Mets. The Rays are going to send Josh Fleming, averaging 4 innings pitched, 0-0 record, 4.26 ERA. Senga started out lights out for the Mets. He's cooled off a little bit, but he's still 4-2 with a 4.14. The Rays are now 6-1 the last 7 meetings in New York and 6-0 in the last 6 meetings overall. Yadimar Diaz, the 3rd baseman of the Rays, he's questionable today. He's got that growing injury that has been nagging him. I mean, what growing injury doesn't nag a guy? I mean, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I mean, it hurts. You know what I mean? Just hurts. Last 3 starts, the Rays are 1-0 in Fleming's, but he's got a 15 ERA. Senga 3.94 ERA. Neither of these pitchers have faced the other. Again, Mets minus 115, minus 105 on the comeback for the Rays. No real opinion this one as it goes off 7:10 Eastern time. Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals hook up today. The Cardinals, we had them game 1, game 2 yesterday. I said there was just absolutely no way even though I liked Montgomery, I'm not laying $1.90 with the Cardinals. That proved to be a good move as the Brewers got the win 3-2. Now, today, minus 115 for the Brewers on the road, minus 105 on the comeback for the Redbirds. Corbin Burns will get the call for the Brewers, 4-2 with a 3.35 ERA. Liberatore, the lefty for the Cardinals, would get his first start of the year. The under is now 7-1 the last 8 meetings. Arenado has been red hot for the Cardinals. He's been a homering machine over the last week. So want to look at that. In Corbin's last 3 starts, 2-1, 6 innings pitched with a 1.50 ERA. Against the Cardinals, the Brewers have won 5 of his last 6. Listen to his outings, Burns versus the Cardinals, in his history. 3 earned runs, 1-0, 0-3, 0-1, 0-3-1. And that guy is laying 115 to a guy that's never started a game. Again, these are just initial reactions. I was up late watching the Nuggets game and really looking at the PGA. So I didn't dive much into baseball. This is the first time I'm touching it. I'll do, 2-3 hours after I get back from the gym, studying all of it before I send the plays out. But initial lean is definitely the Brew Crew. Atlanta Braves against Texas Rangers. Spencer Strider will get the call for the Braves. I mean, this guy, he's been freaking just a mower, mowing people down. He'll get the call for the Braves against Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers. 2 good pitchers here. Braves laying 155. Rangers plus 135 on the comeback. We had the Rangers last night. Braves took game 1. Remember, they hit the ball all over the yard. Last night, they tried to make a comeback. The Rangers were able to stifle that. But 2 really good pictures right here. I don't want to step in front of Strider, but I'm not gonna lay $1.55 against Eovaldi either. But if I had to bet the game, I would take Eovaldi plus the 135. But more than likely, this is going to be a no play for me. The Chicago Cubs, they'll roll in to play the Houston Astros today. Now, look, the Cubs, they've lost 4 in a row, 3-7 over their last 10. The Astros have won 3 in a row. The Cubs are going to send Drew Smyly, the southpaw, 4-1 with a 3.05 ERA, 0.97 whip, throwing 5 2/3 innings pitched. France will get the call for the Astros, 1-0 with a 0.77 ERA, 5 2/3 innings pitched. Over under set at 8.5. The over 5-0 in the Cubs' last 5 games following a loss. The over 6-0 in the Cubs' last 6 interleague games. The over is 7-0 in the Cubs' last 7 overall. Astros 6-1 in their last 7 games overall. The over 5-1 the last 6 meetings. Do you hear a trend with the over here? Cubs are now 1-5 their last 6 meetings in Houston and 1-5 in their last 6 meetings overall. Cody Bellinger, questionable with that knee for the Cubs. He's still been nagging him. Horner, he's probably going to get back in the lineup for the Cubs, but not until probably Friday. Cubs bring the 11th ranked offense, 18 for the Astros. In the last 3 starts, Smyly, 3-0, the Cubs are in his starts, 5 1/3, 1.04 whip, 2.76 ERA. But this JP France kid, Astros, he's only made 2 starts, Astros 1-1, but he's 0.77, averaging 5 2/3 himself. So he's been lights out. But to swing it back to Smyly and the Cubs, Drew Smyly, that is, they've won 6 of his last 7 starts and 8 of his last 10. And he hasn't given up more than 2 runs in any of those last 10 outings, except to the Cincinnati Reds. The weirdest teams get a hold of these pitchers. The Reds back the start of the season on April 30 gave up 6 runs against the Astros in his starts when he was with Texas or Tampa or Detroit. I mean, he's been around, but his teams are 3-2 in the last 5. Last time was back in 2019. So nothing I can really take away from that. Again, JP France has made 2 starts, made 6th. Seattle beat him 7-5, but he only pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, no earned. So that old 7 runs came from that horrible Houston bullpen. And then on May 12th, he beat the White Sox 5-1. He went 6 2/3, giving up 3 hits and 1 earned run. 3 hits seems to be where he lies there. So look, the kid's been tough. Should he be laying $1.55? I mean, that's a little debatable, I guess. Last night, the Astros won 7-3. This is probably a stay away. But again, if I had to bet the game, I would actually look at the dog, even though this kid's been lights out. It's just when a guy's only pitched 2 times and both of them have been real quality starts and he's a young kid, it's really, really hard to step in front of that. I mean, it's really hard. So, again, I want to do the work, but gun to my head right now, I would say the Cubbies, but that's nothing on that's official. Last game of the night, which I won't even break down because it has the Cleveland Indians, and until they can show me they can score runs, I just want nothing to do with them. White Sox with Clevenger pitching against his own team, minus $1.15. The Indians minus 105 on the comeback with Peyton Battlefield. I will give you the pitching rundown. Battenfield 0-4 with a 4.45 ERA, averaging about 5 innings per. Clevenger 2-3 with a 4.79. Again, neither of these guys really a bargain. The Indians are 5-3 the last 8 in Chicago after dropping the game yesterday. Again, I just want no parts of the Indians. The White Sox, I mean, I haven't been able to pick a game right since Frank Thomas and Robin Ventura played on that team, and I was like 12. So, again, quick leans in baseball, nothing official, want to do the work. I don't know why the Cubs is sticking out to me, but I doubt I give that game. But leans, the Brewers minus $1.15 is a lean. The Red Sox minus $1.25 is a lean. I doubt I play that Yankee game with Garrett Cole and Chris Bassett, but again, the Toronto game, speaks to me a little bit at even money there with Bassett. Orioles are a lean minus $1.35. We'll see where the line takes us. Nationals plus 110 is a lean with Mackenzie Gore. Again, we'll see where the line takes us. Rockies is a short favored minus $1.20 with Austin Gomer. That's a lean. We'll see where the money takes us. And the Twins are a lean with Sonny Gray, even though Dustin May's been lights out. So again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got 7 leans. So we'll break that down. I'm not going to give out 7 plays on a Wednesday. No way I'm doing that. Last night I should have gave out 3, and I was going to give out 3, and I threw the stinking Pirates in there like an idiot. If I just left it alone, we'd have been 2-1, but such is life. But again, for all those games, if you want to get a little action down, Bet Online, your number one source for all your basketball info, stats, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines, including latest player reports for the pro basketball playoffs here. Bet Online is always your sports information headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. Basketball, MLB, NHL, hockey, right? Also to UFC, boxing. They'll have something there for you for the Preakness. We're going to hop into the Preakness more on Bustin' Chops, Calling Shots tonight. Bet Online is the fastest, easiest way to getting your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games you can play right from your home. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use our promo code BLEAV, capital BLEAV, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. Again, we would like to thank Bet Online. We'd like to thank the BLEAV Network. And more importantly, I'd like to thank all my winners out there. You guys are the ones that really make this thing go, really make it happen. Hopefully we can keep bringing this show to you and make it better and better and better. The website is under construction, so there's been some things there, again, ironed out, trying to get to where you can see all the plays under a history tab. So when you log in, it just has today's plays. We're also working on getting up-to-date lines, logos, all that on the website, so it's your one-stop shop. You don't have to go anywhere else. And then eventually I want to scale it to where the information's there, right? So we break down each game and there's a little thing on it. So in case for whatever reason you can't listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. You can read it there. So a lot of good things we're working on. Again, always feel free to email me, john@bccsports.com. That's john@bccsports. If you got any questions or you're interested in signing up. Again, 13 years in a row of 150 games over. It's been a slow start to the baseball season, but look, when the smoke clears, we're going to be at least 150 games over. Take out juice, you're going to be at least 125 units over. But look, I expect us to be closer to that 200 and closer to the 150 when it's all said and done. Again, tonight, the Miami Heat face the Boston Celtics. Miami Heat +8 right now. They're getting 66% of the bets, 65% of the handle. I want to see how that line trends and moves. I think a lot of that has to do with the Sharps getting in early. We have the Celtics in the money line parlay with the Nuggets from last night. So the first half of that has checked all the boxes for us. So now it's just about, okay, what do we get from the Celtics? Can they close that off for us and get that across the finish line? It's not out of the question I do something with the Heat, though. Not out of the question I do something with the Heat. 8.5 is a big number. I want to see where that goes. Now, if it starts to come the other way and we get an influx of Boston money today, I'll just stay pat where we are with the money line parlay. But I got to tell you, if this thing rises up to 9, you really got to start looking at the Heat. And again, I'm not going to give it out, but maybe you look at a teaser here, right? 5-point teaser, you could get the Heat plus 13.5 with the Lakers plus, 10.5, 11. Or you just take the Nuggets to win. Again, I think the Nuggets get out of here 2-0 in Denver. And I think when they go back to Denver for game 5, I think it's 2-2. I think the Nuggets take the first 2 at home. The Lakers take the first 2 at home, and then somebody's going to have to win on somebody else's floor. That's the way I see it. I think it's 2-2 at the end of 4 games. We'll see how right I am about that as we move on. In closing here, again, we talk about gratitude, talk about all that stuff, but Ed Mylett, he does a lot of good stuff. If you guys haven't listened to any of his stuff, please check it out. He does some really good stuff, helping people, just life coach, business, all that. But he talks about the power of doing one more, right? So if you're at the gym, one more rep. If you're at work, one more phone call. If you're, with your kids, one more hour, one more minute playing with them. If you just do one more, the one more stack up to more and more wins. And I think it's really important. Like I said, I've talked about gratitude a lot, waking up with that feeling of gratitude. And I've made a lot of parallels with sports gambling to that, right? But again, you're looking over the long haul of it and the power of doing one more. So just to kind of put them together, right? A couple guys were asking me, when do you cash out and all that? And I would say, unless you're living off of gambling like I do, you got to let it in there. Let it stack up a little bit. So you position yourself to, okay, if you just hopped on board with us November, you can take some money out. Then, fast forward April, start next baseball season, you take a chunk out. Then we should have you built up to where you're really, 4 big withdrawals a year, or you could go to a monthly. But you don't want to work yourself up from a $25 bettor to a $500 bettor, right? Because money management's everything. And then go back down to being a $200 bettor. Right? Because once you withdraw that money, it's gone. Right? So, and you say, well, John, what's that have to do with one more? Well, one more win, one more money in the bank, and just being disciplined to, no, let's just go one more month. No, let's just go one more month. Because the problem is, I see this all the time. People withdraw money or they cash a big ticket at the window. And then, you're like, man, they just cashed out $7,000 at the window. And then that's the same guy you'll see that he hasn't cashed a ticket for 2 weeks, and now he's down to betting $20 a game, right? So money management's so important. And I think putting off, we all have desires and wants right there in the moment, right? And we all, are spontaneous buyers. We see something, we want it, we got to have it, blah, blah, blah. So just taking one more win, one more day, one more week, and not touching that money and letting it stack up. Again, if you got a job, you shouldn't need the gambling money anyway. Again, that's where I always talk about the 401k. You're letting that bankroll build up, build up, build up. And again, you can email me, john@bccsports.com. Sometimes I do a great job responding. Other times I don't do a great job. Those are my winners. Those are you guys that got my personal cell phone number, not money, cell phone number. Text me and we can get together on that. Some of you, I still owe a phone call. I haven't gotten up with you like I wanted to, because, life happens. But again, let's look at that. And then in your personal life, again, if you really watch that video, again, Ed Mylett, the power of doing one more, man, it's a really powerful thing. I don't even want to try to duplicate what he does. But today, throughout your life, do one more extra thing at work, one more extra thing for your kids, one more extra thing for yourself. If you're, work on the phones, one more phone call, right? If you're in landscaping, one more yard. If you're, stacking boxes in an Amazon truck, load one more truck, like do one more, and the one more start stacking up in everything you do. If you pray, don't just pray in the morning, pray at night. Find one more prayer to talk to God throughout the day, man. You'll be amazed at how much it helps you. Again, I love you guys. Appreciate all you do. Tomorrow we'll have the episode of Break the Board, and you'll also have the episode of Busted Chops Calling Shots. Love you, my winners. Let's get the Celtics in, and plays will be out today for baseball.